Okay, I'm going to level with all of you because we're all friends here. We've always been a friendly group here on the Popcast Network. I don't know how it happened, why it happened, when it happened, but I can assure you that I'm sick, legit. And I am doing this show sick. So I apologize that if I have to run away for a moment here and there, or hopefully I don't make any odd noises. Indigestion, just a bunch of random things. I know this is a weird time given the fact that I decided tonight we'd bring in a special guest. So, first off, welcome to what will probably be one of the most disjointed podcasts that does not have 700 people on it that you'll ever hear on this network, which is we call the WWE Monday Night Raw Popcast, exclusively here on the Popcast Network. Just like Harold Ziedler said, the show must go on. So that's exactly what's going to happen. My name is Owen. This is Ashley. And joining us, yes, that is a do sound that we usually only hear from Cleveland every once in a while. But yes, joining us, we have a special guest tonight. And he's somebody that has been watching the network for a bit, and he's a big wrestling fan. And he said, I want to share my wrestling knowledge with the viewers and the listeners. And I was like, all right, that sounds good. And of course, I picked the time that I'm sick as a dog, so it might be interesting to see how it works. But that being said, welcome our special guest, Logan.
Hello, what's up?
Nothing much, man. My apologies for being sick right now. I'm just trying to, I don't know how the show's going to go. So it might just be you and Ashley for a little bit.
It happens, so,
Yes.
I mean.
So we've got a lot of things to talk about tonight. We're on the road to WrestleMania 33 that I'm sure you guys probably know by now. I will be attending along with Scott. I don't know if anybody else from the network is going to be going to Mania. I don't think so as of right now, but if anything changes, I'll let you guys know. So we also can't forget that this Sunday is the Elimination Chamber.
Mm-hmm.
With barely any card.
Yep.
That's
what happens with 2 weeks.
Exactly. And of course, the more important thing about Sunday, of course, is the fact that it's the BAFTAs, the British Oscars. So yes, the continuation of the challenge, the final challenge, as we know it, here for the Popcast Network with the awards season to see who's going to be a better predictor, me, AJ, or Ashley.
No, I've got to do it properly.
Okay.
I've got to do it properly. So I'm doing this now, but as well. Shikara started its new, which was season 18. Which there was a season missing. Because, yes, they filmed an entire secret season and are just putting it on demand on their Shikaratopia subscription service. Which is a bit ridiculous. I partially think they've done that because Mustache Mountain probably won't be able to wrestle on Shikara shows ever. But,
yeah.
Aside from all that, this has to come in. Because I'm looking at the list for the 2017 season 18 or whatever. And, you know, they're in Philly. They're going back to where somewhere else in where they had their first shows. No UK tour this year, which is a shame. A video comes out. Turns out, Birmingham, England is getting King of Trios.
That's awesome.
Oh, fuck!
Here's my question, Ashley. Are you going to King of Trios this year?
Tickets going I'm doing my utmost best to get to
Awesome.
the venue. It's about a 5-minute walk away from the main rail station.
That's brilliant.
So I am gonna. Obviously, I can't swear there. It'll just be like, "Holy
Right.
hell," or some stuff like that.
Welcome,
But that
Pedro and
leaves,
Jeremy, chat.
for the first time ever, who leaves Philly, I think, or at least leaves the state of Pennsylvania. I'd have to look at the records.
Makes sense.
But man, as soon as I saw that, it's confusing as well. It's like Friday afternoon, evening, then Saturday evening, and then Sunday afternoon. So there's the possibility that probably the Friday night and the Sunday night, Saturday, train times, because I'm more confident about getting a train back clear shows than the show, which who knows, which means I'd miss some key action. I'm pretty sure if the same people were there, on the second night, I could ask them, or I could probably find out on Tay Internet what happens. But man, screw Raw in Vegas next week. Shikara booking time.
Do we have more to discuss on that on Wednesday?
Well, I'm results from the first 3 shows of the secret season, as well as National Pro Wrestling Day.
Okay.
So yeah, that all of a sudden got even more bloody convoluted. Aside from bloody New Japan, most ridiculous match I've ever seen.
We'll get to that. Don't worry. We'll get to that on Wednesday. I'm actually going to watch that tomorrow. So Jeremy says, hashtag thank you, Strowman. Pedro said it went from being a joint pay-per-view. Go ahead.
Yes.
Was that thank you, Strowman? Was that thank you, Strowman there? Because Braun injured Roman and he's out for 2 months?
Please. I hope so.
Well, I mean, he does have that laser tag vest to protect him from harm, so maybe not.
Because at the rate we're going, the entire WrestleMania card will be obliterated by Fastlane.
Ashley, I just thought you'd want to know.
Goldberg will get injured.
I'm officially working WrestleMania 33. I'm just going to tell you that right now. That's about to
Orton
happen.
gets injured. Shane McMahon gets injured. Nia Jax. That's a good thing.
We'll get to that in a minute, don't worry. So yeah, WrestleMania is.
If we get to that dropping like flies,
right?
Okay, people don't like the fact that I use the slavery thing, but when you've got a guy that tells everybody to work more than their body can take, to me that's slavery.
Yeah, I can see where you're coming from there.
Yeah, sure, they're getting paid quite a lot. Roman, I think, is getting somewhere in the region of $2 million, which is ridiculous, but it's getting to that point where it's like this is the proof that you're really overworking these guys and girls.
It's getting worse too.
And whether they're real or not, are all becoming more. They can't do fake injury angles anymore.
No,
because it'll actually happen. Next week's actually get injured for real again this time, and all of a sudden it's like, no, this time she's actually legit hurt. It's not fake.
Right. So, let's get into the show, shall we?
Yeah.
So they start off the whole Triple H, Seth, and Samoa Joe from the end of last. So we cut live to the arena. Foley and Stephanie are in the ring with, was it a Electon that was there for the contract? Do we know? Owen ran away. So Foley's basically forced by Stephanie to introduce, quote, the hottest free agent of a new era, end quote. Mojo! Who is in a suit, which is like, yeah, Samoa Joe in a suit. It's the main event mafia. Whee! Who remembers that? 4 people.
Yeah.
So, you know, Foley's not happy pulling out his contract, and Stephanie's like, why aren't you happy? Is it because, you know, I'm telling you to do your job? And I'm like, Stephanie, shut the fuck up. We don't care about all this rivalry between you and Foley. We just want to see, you know, storylines that actually seem like we give a damn about them. And Foley goes, you know, no, it's not because of you ordering me about. It's because I don't like the manner that he's got his contract and who he's associating himself with. Joe's like, look, it's taken me 8 years to make it to Monday Night Raw. And oh, you're a fan, Foley. It wasn't you that gave me this contract. It was Triple H. You know, I'm loyal to him. So much so, hell, I put Rollins on the shelf. And anybody at the back, I'll destroy you. I'll maim you. I'll hurt you. And once you've woken back up, I'll hurt you again. The Destroyer has arrived on Raw, and there's no one that can do anything about it. Signs his contract. Ban it! Owen's puking. So Roman comes in and says, I don't think we've met. I'm Roman Reigns. I'm the baddest man in the company. And given that you just signed a contract to be on Raw, you're in my yard. And I'm going, oh my God, no. Seriously. It's the obvious tease. You can write a better sort of thing to feed the Undertaker match than you're in my yard. You see what I did there, guys? I took the Undertaker line and I used them for myself because I'm Roman Reigns. And yeah, he's gonna, either he can shut his mouth or I'll club it forcefully. And Foley's just like, look, Joe, you might be Triple H's guy, but I'm a general manager around here, which means you're equal with everybody. So later tonight, it's Roman Reigns versus the debut, Small Joe. I mean, what is there to say other than, okay, they set the scene, which was good.
Yeah, I mean,
the whole, let's drip feed the whole Undertaker Roman Reigns thing just from the terminology that you use. It's like there is no need to do that. Until we actually get to WrestleMania. It's not like it's a Brock Goldberg thing where we're announcing it early. Just because bloody Meltzer's told doesn't mean everybody knows it's happening. And you don't have to leave you don't have to leave clues or breadcrumbs the size of the fucking Super. Or should I say Citrus Bowl? I guess. Anyway, Logan.
Yeah.
Your take.
Yeah, I thought this segment the Roman Reigns needs to speak as less as possible, which was pretty good. But then the dig at the Undertaker, it's like really you have to get to Fastlane first, then worry about the Undertaker, Roman.
Has Owen recovered from puking over the fact that Roman Reigns versus Undertaker's happening?
Okay, here's the thing. Obviously, when this got announced, it was one of those things that you knew it was going to go to a no contest, or it wasn't going to be something that was going to be finished. Obviously, it's something you're starting to build for this. Because if Rollins is not able to compete at Mania, there's your Mania match. Especially if the Undertaker can't compete at Mania. So if both of them can't compete, they're facing off against each other. So you have to whet people's appetite to really want this battle between two Samoans named Joe. And I like the old school nod to the Main Event Mafia there with having Foley in the ring and Joe dressed up in a suit.
Oh yeah.
And this was good. Joe's he's been decent on the mic. This actually worked quite well. And, if this would have been, I don't know, maybe 8-10 years ago, this could have led to Joe and Foley in a singles match to main event one of the hours of Raw. But obviously, Foley can't work anymore. So he obviously just going to flex his abilities via being the person in charge. I did like the fact there was no Stephanie here.
Oh, yes, that was...
I mean, she was there, but she didn't really do much, so that worked.
Yeah, I mean, it didn't need that. The segment didn't need Stephanie, but yeah, it got job. It got the job done. So
Pedro says they were using Roman to take on Joe and now Strowman at Fastlane. It makes no sense. So is Joe and Roman going to be the feud after the Undertaker one? I think so. I think that's a good possibility. So if something happens and the Undertaker can't go at Mania, I think they'll roll with that, and that'll be your feud. Probably going to build up until, God, I hope they don't take out all those SummerSlam. That would not be fun. But I mean, there's a lot of people that could be involved in that. Finn Balor obviously is going to have a spot in that little storyline when it comes down to it. So I have a feeling he'll be reintroduced into the equation at Fastlane if he's able to compete at Mania. If he's not, then he'll wait a little bit longer. Yeah, decent stuff here for good reason. I like this, and it was the right way to start out the show. I love what Joe did on social media, really going after the fact that he's the one that put Rollins on the shelf. I like how Joe really played that up, and I thought that worked quite well. And it really adds to the realism of exactly what happened, and it still builds a storyline as well, with Rollins being complete kayfabe, saying, when it's all said and done, at the end of the day, I don't care what I have to do or when I do it, but I got to take out Triple H once and for all. And I like that they're mixing everything together. It really worked quite well.
So then, so we're starting off tonight with Bayley versus Nia Jax, who, some people say she's not like most girls. You know what I say? There you go.
Close enough. This match
TV,
actually,
motherfuckers.
No lie. This match went to a commercial break, which I got a lot more time than I thought it would. They gave it 10 minutes. I don't know why. Heat on Bayley for quite a while. She finally got some shine, and she fought back. Nia knocked her to the outside with a clothesline. One thing I do want to mention, Ashley, did you get a chance to fully watch this match?
I might have missed a minute or so, like between the commercials.
Okay, so let's go with it. We come back from commercial break. She's locked in the Cobra Clutch. Bailey fights out of it, goes for a sunset flip. She gets picked up by the hair, and she gets wheeled out of the corner. Nia hits an avalanche for 2. Running clothesline, a knee, an elbow with the shine on Bailey's end, and then Bailey ends up getting hit with the Rainmaker. Full-fledged Rainmaker by Nia Jax.
What is up with these
the full-fledged Rainmaker.
Thinking they're Japanese.
I don't know. I think that might have made me sick in the first place, having to see Nia Jax do that. It's quite possible. Bailey gets knocked to the outside. She misses an avalanche. She hits the ring post. Bailey sends her into the ring post again. Charlotte comes out, gets on the apron for a distraction, and Bailey kicks the top rope. Charlotte falls into the ring. She gets drop kicked out, and this, of course, leads to Nia hitting her with a Samoan drop to get the win. I don't care. I just don't care. I know the end game here is Bailey winning the title of Mania,
right,
but
it's a Caucasian.
I don't care.
It's a Caucasian drop.
Yeah, this was.
There's only one true Samoan drop that fucking happened tonight. We'll get to that later.
Yeah. Thoughts, Logan?
Yeah. This match, I'm with you. I didn't really care for this match at all. So, I mean, like you said, the end game is leading to Bailey, and winning the title, but just getting there is, just tough. And I'm just not a huge fan of Nia Jax. It's just something's not clicking, and she should have stayed in NXT a little longer, but hey.
Right.
And then
none of us here on the network really like. The only person that likes Nia Jax on this network is Cleveland. No one else does.
Yeah.
She brought up way too early. She's not Bull Nakano. She's not Aja Kong.
Yeah.
She's not even Awesome Kong. She's got a long way to go before she is in the position they want her to be in right now.
And then it's looking like, I just hope. Oh wait, I'm jumping the gun a little now, man. I was gonna say about Charlotte versus Bailey next week.
I was getting ready to bring that up actually. So no, you're right on track here.
I just hope they don't do what they've been doing with the women's title, and like handing it off, like how they handed it off to Charlotte, Sasha on Raw, and then back to Charlotte at Fastlane. I don't see that happening, but you never know.
No, there won't be a title switch next week.
Or, since we saw another thing, since they're saying Emelina's actually debuting next week.
We'll get to that. Don't worry.
Oh, I was gonna say maybe she can. I would say cost Bailey, but that wouldn't make any sense. But
who gives a fuck about that bitch until she actually does something?
I really don't care either. So
I mean,
remember they said last 7 weeks ago. Well, they said next week 7 weeks ago. Sorry,
yeah.
So it's like all I'm expecting is fuck all.
Yeah, I have a feeling they may end up pulling the Eva Marie route and basically just postponing it again. So that's exactly what this is. It's turning into what they did with Eva Marie on SmackDown. Yeah, this was really nothing.
Yeah.
And Bailey and Charlotte's going to be a decent match next week. Speaking of Charlotte, even though she's not on television right now because God knows she may be like training for like a fitness competition or something or bodybuilding competition, but I didn't watch what everybody else watched last night, obviously, because it's me. But I did see pictures, and I have to say that I saw Lady Gaga in pictures, and she reminded me of a mixture of Dazzler and Dana Brooke.
Yeah.
You know what Dazzle rhymes with? Zazzle. Buy our merch.
Buy our merch. Popcast Network on Dazzle. We'll get some new stuff out to you guys soon. Don't worry. Should be a new Elite shirt coming out soon too, with the new logo when we get it. Yeah, there really wasn't much to that. We need to our next match. Actually, remember how I've been saying for a while that if they want to really get Braun Strowman over, they need to have him squash like 4 guys at once. They finally listened to me.
Yeah, I didn't.
When I don't care.
Agree with you, did I?
No. No one knows what happened to Dana Brooke, Pedro. I mean, like I said, she could be, like Dave said, she might be training for some sort of competition or something.
She's training up for Arnold.
She's probably getting ready for the Classic, if I had to guess.
Yeah.
I don't mean Women's Classic later this summer. I'm talking about the Arnold Classic.
The Arnold Classic, yeah. Yeah, she's ready for that. That's why she's only doing spots here and there on main event and then just focusing on her shit. I wouldn't be surprised if she's doing stuff certainly in the next few weeks, considering they're West Coast.
Right.
Because it obviously isn't too far for her to travel to do whatever on the show. Especially if next week's Raw's going to be on the main event, undercard probably.
Speaking of that, no Brock this week either.
Yeah.
I mean, he did show up after Raw and do the same thing he did on the house show the other night, make an open challenge. Big Show came out. He ate an F5, but that's it.
Yeah. What I expect. So, what I do like the fact of the jobbers thing was clearly a rip at 3 people. The one that got lucky was Rob Pelly.
Right.
So I don't think that was a dig at Rob Feinstein. Who knows?
I was looking at Rob Pelly and I couldn't find any connection anywhere.
But the fact that we had a Dusty Wallace, hi Cody.
Yeah.
A James Stock, hi there, Mr. Stall.
Yep.
Yeah.
And CC Bonin, hello.
Which is Caitlin.
Yeah, the fact it was CC Bonin, I'm pretty sure that is Celeste's initials, I think.
If not, it's
Certainly
definitely Celeste Bonin.
I
So
remember that.
one of the people, and to tie into what you were saying, one of the people that actually was a part of this, Lance Storm was defending on Twitter, and he's going to be somebody that's going to be involved in a mixed tag with Cody and Brandy for Prairie Wrestling Alliance this weekend. Well, not this weekend, but next weekend.
So it was a dig at James Storm as well.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Michael Blaze. So yeah, this was just a straight up squash. There's nothing to say about this. He just beat everybody up. At one point, one of the guys just ran, literally ran. He didn't come back, and he destroyed another one with Vader crossfaces, like so much that he basically became Zeus and no holds barred. The other guy ended up getting the running.
Don't remind me.
Well, that's how it was. Running power
talented.
slam.
Not saying so.
Oh God, running power slam. He stacked all 3 on top of each other. He growled and he pinned all 3. Yay!
Now,
So Braun wants competition.
Oh, I've clearly got one question for Braun Strowman. And a return from myself. Just generally, the last two words are what I mean to Braun Strowman. It's like, so Braun gets on the mic and basically says, "Mick Foley, I want real competition, not these jobbers." And it's like, stacked 6 weeks ago. So why are we just having jobbers on? Other than the fact that you don't have anybody on the fucking roster because they're all injured, motherfucker. Yep. So he storms to the back looking for Foley. Foley meets up with him, and Braun's like, "I want everyone. So, you want competition? All right. Fast lane, you go one-on-one with Roman Reigns." And I'm just going, are you... Braun Strowman's going to get cheered just because he isn't Roman Reigns, but he's shit. And Roman Reigns, because he's getting fucked over by... Where the fuck is Fastlane happening?
To the interwebs. Fastlane is in Milwaukee.
Fastlane 2017. Oh, great for the call to go weird. Fastlane 2017.
Milwaukee.
Yeah, Milwaukee.
Milwaukee, Wisconsin. I am so go to the bloody local news and write an obituary for wrestling because they have to sit through Braun Strowman versus Roman Reigns.
I hope I don't have to do that at Mania.
Oh, trust me, you will publish that. He said that this is my yard. We've already established that he's facing Undertaker.
Right.
Braun Strowman, I don't have a clue who the fuck he's going against. Because all of a sudden, he's left doing fuck all.
Probably the Battle Royal, if they do the Battle Royal this year.
Yeah, he'll get eliminated by Hogan.
While Triple H deal with Rollins.
Remember that Samoa Joe Finn Balor match I talked about when we were doing the Takeover Popcast? Keep that in mind.
Oh, fuck. No. Why don't we just have it then? Because that's what it deserves to be.
Oh, God.
In all honesty.
Pedro says, it's funny how Strowman kept complaining about wanting opponents when it was obviously going to be Roman. And you can tell they're really rushing ideas using Roman and Strowman back and forth sometimes to make them somewhat fit in storylines that don't work. Yep, pretty much. So let's move on to some good news.
It's weird how they've still got, 2 weeks to build it?
Yeah.
I understand for SmackDown they're rushing it because they've actually got 2 weeks. Well, now less than 1 week to build to a pay-per-view. With only,
4
weeks
weeks
on it?
For SmackDown?
Yeah.
Yes.
That's what I'm saying.
I think.
It's used to rush shit. Because they've got 6 days left. Well, 5 days from tomorrow.
Pinhead Larry in chat says Brady making the list of
3
Jericho
weeks?
was better than the Super Bowl.
For a pay-per-view?
Not long enough to build anything of worth.
Anyway, let's talk about something fucking incredible.
Yes.
Fucking Tazal doing Matt Tremont chants, and Matt Tremont's going, I shouldn't have killed off my bulldozer gimmick because it's now going to be Tozawa. Shit.
So Akira Tozawa takes on Drew Gulak. Short match here. Gulak's got the heat with a chin lock. And Tozawa ends up sitting to the outside, hits tope suicida. He goes up top, he dives over, leapfrog off the top, and drop kick. Hits a Shining Wizard. He drop kicks the knee, then he hits the Shining Wizard. After this, he does a couple round kicks. Third is ducked. Dreamwave kicked is ducked. Ducks the clothesline, and the snap German finishes them off. With Tajiri being cleared and him being backstage tonight, I thought they would go with Tajiri tonight, but they went with Tozawa. Which isn't a bad thing, but I'll tell you right now, with as crappy as the tag division is at this point, they probably would do best to put them together as a team on Raw.
No. WrestleMania, I want Pac versus Tozawa.
Oh, God.
Yeah.
Fuck all the other bastards.
Austin Aries.
Tozawa. That's a match with
Yeah.
bloody Lesnar versus for the Universal title. A shit.
So, are we thinking that Aries is going to get his shot at the title at SummerSlam then?
I think Aries is going to be coming back sometime after Mania. He ain't going to rush back because he's in a pretty good position. As the best thing is for him to show up. Don't do it in the build up to Mania.
Oh yeah.
Do it when Tozawa was won and Tozawa was celebrating. Perhaps not at Mania itself. And then just have Aries, blindside him in an in-ring interview.
Yeah, I think at this point, honestly, and I think I've said this on another podcast, the first feud for Austin Aries basically being built up right now is Tony Nese. I think that's the first feud. Because he keeps making fun of him, trashes him, calls him washboard abs and stuff like that. Look at his abs, stuff like that. Really dressing him down. Pedro says, short but somewhat sweet with a little hint of Kendrick and a rivalry building, hopefully. Yeah, I think so.
I mean, for WrestleMania, someone gave this idea that Neville, you know how you have the cruiserweights? A lot of them are getting they're getting no reactions right now on Raw. A lot of them.
Well, yeah, they're getting 2 minutes to work, so yeah, I understand why they're getting a reaction.
Limited and look, but someone's like, you have Neville, fight some you have Neville fight some. You get Rey Mysterio to come back and fight Neville. I'm like, no, I'm like, no, that. Use the talent you have now and build up. I mean, we'll get to this later, but it looks like we're building Cedric to be the next challenger. So
you build up Cedric because he's got the most believable finish.
Yeah, he's got the most lumbar check. So yeah, so.
Ashley, move on to the next segment.
Two.
You don't have
that's pretty much the first hour done.
Yes.
So we move into. Oh yeah, the Kevin and Chris bit.
Yes.
Mentioned that Kendrick shook Tozawa's hand at the end. If we didn't, I just did. So Owens and Jericho come out, and Kevin says, last week I said I've been proving people wrong all my career, and guess what? I did it again last week. I'm still Universal Champion. And what? I'm still going to be US Champion because I'm going to successfully defend tonight as well. But I got one little issue with some guy from some football team that did something last night. some guy went in an interview and said that he's the greatest of all time. He's the GOAT, which, you know, is my line. You know what happens when somebody claims that the greatest of all time and they're stealing names and monikers from me? You know what happens? Huh? You know what happens? Tom Brady? Your Super Bowl jersey's still missing because somebody stole it. Also, you just made the list. And then Chris goes, a guard from that. We need to go to an important thing, and that's WrestleMania. And Chris is like, I've got a brilliant idea. Best friend versus best friend. Champion versus champion. Chris and Portland's like, but yes! Anything but Goldberg versus Brock for the title. Because it'll be over in 90 seconds. Because Brock will get his revenge and everyone will go, what the fuck? We've paid for 3 straight Big 4 pay-per-views to see matches that in total lasted 5 minutes.
Well, actually, that way, people like me and Scott and smart people that are up in the top of the building are going to be able to beat the traffic by getting out the second that the jackhammer hits.
No.
Now, listeners winning for sure.
To win in 60 seconds.
No, I mean, it's not going to be a long match at all, but I mean, and definitely going to be the shortest match on the card, but they're going to have to go a little bit.
60 seconds.
Well, that would be great.
And then they have the rematch. Or possibly the night after on Raw.
Oh, yes, please.
Who knows? But, you know, Kevin likes the sound of Jericho versus Owens, but he just feels about taking on his best friend. Goldberg's music.
Oh,
And, he's walking backstage. No fucking doors in sight. After what happened back 2 weeks ago. So Goldberg gets in the ring and says, look, you can either step aside and let me speak, or take you both on. 2-on-1 right here, right now. And Goldberg's like, so, sort of paraphrase what he said, you know, before Survivor Series. Brock Lesnar challenged me to a fight. And I don't turn down a fight, so I accept. And crowd's happy. And Kevin's like, wow, that's a massive announcement. You know, great decision. You know, Brock and Goldberg being on the undercard of Jericho versus Owens. I think they're trying to do that for the Universal title because they think it's going to appeal to mainstream people.
Well, here's the thing, Ashley. I've been thinking this for a while now, and I've been thinking it tonight. Kevin Owens, a heel that has a decent fan following for a heel. Former Ring of Honor World Heavyweight Champion. Ran the company with the title. Got a long, lengthy run where he wasn't main eventing. He was just like the second hour main event. And he is going to be dropping the title at a show to build to a bout between 2 part-timers. Yes, Kevin Steen, you are now CM Punk.
Oh, don't get me started on that. We'll get to that in a bit.
And we'll talk about ice cream later. See, here's the thing, though. I mean, obviously, the end game here, Owens loses to Gold. We talked about this, actually. We talked about it the week of the Rumble anyway. Talking about Owens losing the title at Fastlane, and then we get Brock and Goldberg for the Universal title at Mania, which doesn't need the title. Because it's going to be over regardless. I would like to see them pull a fast one. Have Lesnar help Owens win inadvertently. And let Owens defend the title against Jericho at WrestleMania in a title versus title match where two Canadians battle just like Hogan and Warrior did in Toronto at WrestleMania 6. It doesn't have to be the main event, and it wouldn't be, but I would love to see them just let Owens somehow get away, because he's not going to beat Goldberg. Even if Jericho gets involved, which, I mean, they could end up breaking them up next week in Vegas, which is a very good possibility at this point, but they may hold it on a little bit longer. There's going to be dissension in the ranks next week, I got a feeling. But the thing is, I would love to see Owens retain somehow, some way, by hook or by crook. And then Goldberg's like, you know what? Doesn't really matter. I don't need the title. How about I just go after you, Brock, and that's where they stick the storyline. And then Owens and Jericho can face off for the title at Mania, like it should be.
Yeah,
instead
Brock
of
versus Goldberg doesn't need a
not
belt
need a title. God, no.
about it.
Does not need a title on the line at all, because
At all.
there's no point. I mean, what they're doing is they are stacking the deck for the general public. And
Because they
that's
need
a
it
problem.
for the subscriber. But fuck.
I don't know, when Brock wins the title and he comes out, and then all of a sudden the next night on Raw, Lesnar's celebrating with Paul Heyman, and then all of a sudden the music hits and Shinsuke Nakamura comes out and says, I beat you once before, I'll beat you here. The place is going to erupt. But no, seriously. Well, yeah, we talked about it. Well, no, in Orlando, I guarantee it would have been way. The thing is, I think Owens has proven to be, even though I know he wasn't the original choice, I know he got the title because of Balor's injury. I get that. But I think he's had a good run with the title. Only problem is they turned him into a chicken. And Kevin Steen, when he came into the company, was anything but. He beat John Cena the first night in. He destroyed Sami Zayn, and leading to him winning the NXT Championship by ref stoppage. And he had one of the best matches with John Cena that anyone could possibly have that wasn't even an actual pay-per-view. So he's done more than carry his end of the bargain on everything. The problem is he's getting punked because they want the title on the two part-timers that are going to draw the most money, which is a shame. But, I mean, that's what we've got now. I mean, we have to deal with that. Maybe Owens and Jericho will be for the U.S. title, and that'll be Jericho's swan song with the company, because I know he's leaving soon after Mania anyway.
Yeah.
Yeah. So Jericho only being short timer, because this is like month 14, isn't it?
This is one of the longest short time runs Jericho's had in recent memory.
Mm-hmm.
And he will go out and say it wasn't supposed to go this long, but something just clicked, and I stayed and I stayed and I stayed, and now here we are, which I'm going to be doing another WrestleMania. One thing I will say, I do like, if you're an old school WCW fan, like everyone knows here that I am, it was nice when Goldberg came out, when he was running his mouth, that Jericho said, I never liked you anyway.
Because that's
That's about 20%. That's 20% shoot right there, sir.
yeah, I was gonna say
Straight up.
shoot, but definitely a little bit shoot.
But it sucks, because Owens has done so much, just like what Punk did. Owens has done so much for the company in the time that he's been champion that I think he deserves to main event WrestleMania, and he's not going to get to because of two part-timers. And that's nothing against Brock and Goldberg at all. But it would be nice to see the person that has been around the whole time be the one that gets to be the flag bearer for the biggest pay-per-view of the year. guarantee that match is going to be great. Obviously, Owens and Jericho is going to be an amazing match, and it's going to go a while. They're going to give it a lot of time. But Goldberg and Lesnar is basically just going to be to pop the fans that just come back for WrestleMania just to see their favorites of the Attitude Era. I know Lesnar wasn't part of the Attitude Era, but you know what I mean. They're favorites from the past.
True.
So this leads to our next match, Ashley. We've got the tag titles on the line.
Enzo and Cass at ringside.
Not on commentary, just sitting at ringside randomly.
Yeah.
Solid match, not surprising here. Cesaro and Sheamus hit their double team, the Finley roll into the double stomp, and then the assisted over the shoulder power slam. So at this point, they work Cesaro over, and Sheamus gets the tag in. I can't really call it a hot tag. I guess you could sign say. Gallows tries to cut him off, but he actually does make the tag. It's the shoulders in the corner, the wheel kick, and then a flying clothesline for a near fall. Finley roll, he escapes, but he gets clotheslined over the top, eats the clubbing blows. Yeah, I know the irony of giving the clubbing blows. Hot tag Cesaro, and Gallows makes a save. Big boot Sheamus out, Swiss uppercut sends Gallows off the apron onto Enzo, and he lands on Enzo's leg. And Enzo's like, what's going on here? And the next thing you know, he gets super kicked out of his chair pretty much, and this allows for Big Cass to hit the big boot, and they call for the DQ. I know Enzo and Cass are over. I get that. You're never going to have to tell me this, but I don't care. That tag team division is so far ruined right now. It's not even funny.
I mean, what? It's like the tag team division on Raw is like non-existent. You have Enzo, Cass, Gallows, Anderson, and Cesaro and Sheamus and New Day. That's basically your tag division right there on Raw.
Yeah, we've been saying this for a while, and I'm going to stick with this. I really think they should have put the women on SmackDown and put the tag teams on Raw.
Yeah, they should have stuck the women on one show and then put the tags on the other show but they didn't, so.
I mean, decent match. I didn't really like the finish. I did find it funny to see Enzo get super kicked in his chair. I thought that was good. I enjoyed that. And Enzo was like, "What are you doing?" Is basically what he was saying there. So yeah. Sorry, Pedro, to get all your chat. I wasn't able to see what you were typing here. Don't care who the champs are anymore. I love the clubber champs, but everything is so overdue.
Yeah, I mean, it feels academic that not guaranteed, but that Enzo and Cass are probably gonna get the titles next. It just feels academic at this point, but you never know. With WWE, things change like on the fly. So
I hope not. I don't want Enzo and Cass to win
they're probably gonna get him in Orlando. But
yeah, don't remind me. I know they are, and I'm not happy about it.
Yeah, I'm just over Enzo and Cass at this point too. So it's like,
don't get me wrong. I'll do the sing along with Enzo bit with my teeth gritted, but I mean, other than that, I don't care. I mean, they're not a great tag team. Enzo is really weak in the ring.
Yeah.
Cass is way too wooden. Enzo's got personality for days, but that's the only if Enzo didn't have a personality, he probably would have been released by now. I mean, I will give him credit for his flying DDT. It looks good. He does a very good job on it. And he's really good at playing Ricky Morton, which is ironic given what we're going to talk about later. It's February, so that means it's Black History Month. So we get video packages for Aretha Franklin and Jackie Robinson.
Why don't they do one for Roman Reigns? Blue Black History Month.
Seth Rollins update.
It's like, where the hell was Melissa McCarthy as Sean Spicer? Fake news. It's a shame Owen didn't watch that because he's got sort of a boycott on Melissa McCarthy because that was incredible.
There's only one Melissa McCarthy, and her name is Sharon Yost, and you see her at Bill and Ted every year. Now the thing is,
have you seen the Sean Spicer clip?
It's the only clip I didn't watch.
Oh, it's the best one. Well, no. Let's be honest.
Totino's is the best one.
The Totino's one with the lesbian makeout is probably the best, yeah.
AJ has got this thing for Kristen Stewart now, and I guess it's starting. My best friend's starting to rub off on me a bit, so I'm gonna agree with him. I don't like the pixie hair, but she's a really attractive woman. So
you're just saying that because the cafe society.
Don't forget, she also did.
Alicia Fox.
We'll get to know MDR in a little bit. No, Cafe Society and Adventureland, because, well, heck, I mean, there's a lot of things you can say that about. Great actress and very attractive. But anyway, Seth Rollins, it was not a great actress, and I mean, women might find him attractive. I don't know, maybe. So that was a horrible segue.
He's not like most girls.
He's not like most girls. He just looks like CM Punk when he shows up at NXT. I was really happy that we didn't get a Titus segment here, but we'll get to that in a minute. Not that I don't like Titus, because obviously I do, but there's nothing else you can do with him at this point.
Was the fucking cunt Titus on main event?
I can tell you what happened on main event. The main event show was Curtis Axel over Bo Dallas and Rusev over Sin Cara.
Titus O'Neil wasn't even on the show. There is a fucking god.
So, Rollins, it has an MCL tear. I'm talking about his many participations in doubt. I know it was mentioned recently that Rollins may come back right before Mania, but I think if he rushes back, he's going to end up having backlash for the injury, and he'll probably get hurt again. Not wishing that on him. It's just that seems to be his luck right now. So I wouldn't rush back too quickly, because you can do Triple H and Rollins at SummerSlam.
Yeah.
That's what I would do.
Yeah. Yeah, Triple H Rollins at SummerSlam, and maybe I've been hearing that Triple H wants to play quits from in-ring action, so maybe you can throw Triple H's career on the line. In-ring career on the line.
Well, the interesting thing about that is there was something that came out over the weekend, Ashley. Did you hear about Dave Bautista being brought in to work with Triple H?
Oh, I heard that too. Drax.
Is it to cover up the fact the boxer film?
Quite possibly. So here comes the New Day. Ashley, have fun with this. CM Punk, once again, getting referenced indirectly on this show.
I need to get the sounder sorted. New Day come out, taking on the Shining Stars, who are still trying to do the whole fucking Puerto Rico gimmick. I don't need to say Lin-Manuel. We're all watching Sing Along and Moana this weekend. Or at least they are over here. So New Day points out, you keep wanting people to visit your timeshare resort, but woo! Impact Wrestling logo! Impact Wrestling logo! Woo!
Nice.
Nobody! When people want things from New Day delivers. Magic. We gave them fucking... People wanted to dance. We gave them fucking Francesca. Apparently forgetting she's Francesca too, but who cares?
No. He said Turbo too. He made a Street Fighter reference.
Yeah.
They wanted cereals. New Day gave them the booty of O's because they make sure you are not booty. But perhaps next could be ice creams. Ice cream, you scream. We all scream ice cream. Now, what's that stone? If you want to see New Day, bunch of ice creams and some fuck. Because I don't want to use. Because that's tomorrow. By the way, hi Phil.
Yeah, no lie. I mean, New Day have proven. Well, real quick, Ashley. New Day have proven that that's a shoot. They wanted cereal. They got cereal. I think super kicks are better, but that's another story. So now they've got chocolate bars with Pop Rocks, and it sounds like that we get New Day ice cream bars. Oh my God!
What really? I know.
Now the problem is, what ice cream is it going to be? Because in essence, they should be like chocolate mousse style ice cream bar things. Because if it's a choc ice, wait for everybody to jump on the fact of it's got black skin but it's white underneath.
Oh yeah, there's going to be
good
people.
Advertising. It should be a good advertising cane for Donald Trump and Linda McMahon. But you know.
It's going to really say something about the pecking order of WWE right now if the New Day are the ones that can get ice cream bars and CM Punk couldn't. I mean, you might the match for what it was. Well, the match for what it was fine. It's just they turned the basic match into chanting for ice cream. Seriously, they really did. I like this during the match. I'm pretty sure I heard this correct. Primo gets tagged in, hits a drop kick on Xavier Woods, and he hits a Vader bomb. And I'm pretty positive, if it wasn't Big E, it was a fan in the crowd that said, "Okay, Vader." Made me laugh there. Big E gets
next week. Hall of Fame.
Big E gets tagged in. So Epico gets tagged in as well. 2 overhead release belly to bellies, duck the clothesline belly to belly, big splash. Primo comes in, eats the high kick from Xavier, and Xavier hits the outside in swing DDT. They go for an O'Connor roll. The blind tag comes in, and New Day are screaming ice cream as they hit the midnight hour.
I wonder why.
The match was okay. It's just it was basically overshadowed by the fact that, number one, no one gives a damn about the Shining Stars, number one. And number two, I mean, honestly, Ashley, I think it goes back to the fact that it's pretty clear that they wanted Carlito to be in this group, and with him not wanting to do it, they've pretty much taken a lot of luster they could have had on it.
The important thing is it's been overshadowed by CM Punk. That's the best bit.
A lot of things were tonight.
So now it's time to hyperlimit opposition rivalry, except there isn't, but there is, but there isn't, but there is, but there isn't, but there is, but there isn't, but there isn't. And now it's time for Domo Arigato, Charlie Caruso, Domo Aristo Roboto.
Oh boy.
Oh boy.
Yeah. Interviewing Chris Jericho, and Charlie's like, I just want your take on Kevin Owens' situation. You know, you put him into a match with Goldberg at first. It doesn't seem like he was very happy with it. And is this going to affect your US title match with Sami Zayn? Is like, I was if I was Jericho in that situation, I'd have gone, one, that was 4 questions. But secondly, there is no issue between us. You know, there's always a little friends relationships. And, you know, we've been through tough stuff before, and we can go through it again and sort it out. And Kevin then comes in. And what did Jericho call her? Chico? Candy? Something beginning with C.
Was it Chucky?
Chucky, I think.
Chuck. That was it, Chuck.
It was Chuck, yeah.
Which made Chuck Taylor go, what? And Kevin's like, look, I understand what you're trying to do. You know, best friends have each other's back. Okay? You're gonna have my back when it comes to the match. So it's only fair that tonight I have your back, and we listen. Which leads us to US title match. For assorted noises.
This was good too, but I thought that it didn't get enough time. Before we get started, actually, I do want to mention that it was announced earlier today that we have new inductees officially in the 2017 WWE Hall of Fame class. We talk about him every single week here on this network.
Rock and roll.
Well, thanks to the hard
playing Ricky Morton has been something that a lot of people have been saying for years. And very deservingly, Ricky and Robert, the Rock and Roll Express, are going in the Hall of Fame, which is interesting because they would never go in a WWF Hall of Fame. This is proof that the Hall of Fame is even more so an all wrestling Hall of Fame. The question is, who inducts them?
Ooh. I know who I want to see, but
I know who makes the most sense, but I don't know if he would be willing to do it.
Jim Cornette will make the most sense, but
he'd never do it.
They'll never let him do it.
Goes in half the hall. You know, people thought it was bad with Abdullah. Nope.
I mean, I think Bobby Eaton, Stan Lane, and Dennis Condrey could induct them before Cornette would.
Mm-hmm.
Who better to induct them but their greatest rivalry? Unless they do an inside joke and have Marty Jannetty do it. But I don't think they want Marty Jannetty anywhere near a live microphone in front of people.
No.
Hell, they might have the Hardys do it. Just to piss off TNA. And it's like, look, do you want your company going down the shitter? Or do you want us to go wherever the hell we want?
I mean,
Like,
it's not been officially confirmed yet, but the TNA show is supposed to be March 31st. So,
wow.
Which means, obviously, since that's the case, as long as everything lines up, and I don't see a reason why it wouldn't, I should be at the TNA show. Yeah, because that's Friday night, during the same night as the Hall of Fame. So. We don't know to what time they're running yet. That hasn't been announced. Hopefully we'll get more information in the next month or so. So we were thinking that the Fastlane match was going to be Sami Zayn and Chris Jericho, but they gave it away on free television.
Well, no, they've certainly left it for a rematch possibility, haven't they?
Right.
Zayn is just being misused on Raw right now. He needs better, but yeah, he needs to be booked better. But
well, considering the fact that we have been saying this for a year now, we agree.
I mean, the way people have thrown the idea around, but it's not gonna happen. That they could incorporate Zayn somehow in the Triple H storyline, but I'm like, that would never happen because Zayn versus Joe, but I think Finn will. I don't know. It's just there's so many moving parts now with Rollins going down with injury. I mean,
right.
Because someone's like, you could have Zayn stand up for Rollins, but like I said, they would never give Zayn that opportunity, but you never know. But because as of right now, it looks like Zayn's doing nothing right now at Mania, so.
No, he'll do something at Mania. Mark my words.
Yeah.
I think it'll be something important, but I don't know exactly what just yet. I hope he's not on the pre-show. That's going to annoy me.
I hope, if he's on the pre-show, that's going to either that or the Battle Royal. I mean, please.
Well, considering who I have winning the Andre Battle Royal this year, I don't want Sami Zayn in it.
I know. I agree with that. Hulk Hogan will be back. I mean, it's only a matter of when he'll be back. So.
A 100% guarantee.
I agree with you on that idea. I think Hogan will be back at Mania in some capacity.
Yeah, for sure. I can see that.
Because I think I read somewhere from Dave Meltzer that he said Hogan will be back. It's only a matter of time soon. He'll be returning soon.
That's why I said, who better to win the Andre Battle Royal than Hulk Hogan?
I actually see that happening too. So I mean, people won't like it, but I see that happening 100% because it's just like if Braun's not doing something at Mania, it could come down to Braun, and then it looks like Braun will win, and then Hulk Hogan just dumps him over the.
Yeah, I could see Hogan eliminating Strowman to win the actual Battle Royal itself. But I mean, we'll get to that later. Pedro says it was a good shot to win the Intercontinental title for Sami, but it was short-lived. Then everybody, everybody here on this network, we're all under the impression that Sammy was going to win the Royal Rumble. And then, of course, that didn't happen. And then Braun Strowman just beat him like over and over again, made him look like a total goof.
I mean, someone that could a move to SmackDown could probably help Zayn, but
no,
nope,
not now.
You don't want. I mean, I don't know. I mean, Zayn. You look at SmackDown's roster too. Both rosters are.
That's why the brand split's such a double-edged sword.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's in the same position Dolph Ziggler's in. Yeah, kind of, but Dolph right now is at least working with Apollo Crews. There's not much to that storyline, but at least it's something. Sami Zayn's been made to look like a total fool. Then they had him beat Jericho last week, and then they had him lose this week, and hopefully this leads to Owens costing Jericho the title, building up their heat. So I think that makes sense.
Yeah.
This was a good match. They only gave it 10 minutes. Sadly. Sammy at the tope con hilo. We got a commercial break. So Jericho has got the advantage, and Sammy ends up nailing with a clothesline. He chops him. He goes for the drop kick. Jericho telegraphs it, hits the lion salt for a near fall. And he charges in, and he gets caught with the exploder into the buckle. Sammy goes to charge in for the Luva kick, but he gets caught in a roll-up into the walls, countered to a small package for a near fall. Blue Thunder Bomb for a near fall. Sammy leaps off the top rope and lands on his feet. Wrist lock, palm chop, rope walk DDT, but Jericho counters. Goes for the walls. Sammy crawls to the ropes, gets the rope break, and the referee is distracted at this point, allowing for Owens to hit the glancing blow in the super kick. And basically, Sammy walks into the code breaker, and that's the end of that. Good stuff.
Yeah.
Too short, but good stuff. Ashley?
Yeah, I would like to see more. There we go.
And then, of course, they changed the ropes because it's time for Austin Aries' interview segment.
Oh, yeah. So this is an interesting one.
Yep.
Mainly because Aries has got a banana.
Oh, wow.
Or was he just pleased to see us? So he introduces his exclusive one-on-one interview with the king of the cruiserweights,
Drew Galloway.
Neville. Swan got injured, so he can't wrestle here for his rematch yet. So tomorrow on 205 Live, it'll be TJ Perkins versus Tony Nese versus Cedric Alexander versus Noam Dar versus Jack Gallagher in a fatal 5-way to determine the number one contender. And to see who Neville faces at the fast lane.
You know what would have been really nice that they could have pulled the trigger on if Aries was ready to go? They say you got a 5-way to determine who faces Neville, and then Aries hits a rolling elbow on Tony Nese and says, "I'm the 6th guy." That would have been great. Obviously, it wasn't going to happen.
Fucking confusing.
Oh, well, the whole thing was, I did like Aries basically saying Tony Nese is here and his abs are here too.
Yeah, well, that was on the mic, obviously. Well, Nese is here. So it's fucking abs.
He's turning into Wade Barrett. That's the problem. Everything's about the crown, the non-existent crown. Give Neville a crown, please.
Aries is like, which one are you afraid of? And Neville goes, do you not understand? I'm afraid of no one. And whoever the is will bow to me and pay respect to me. So here comes Cedric Alexander, not happy. And Aries is like, look, this is one-on-one interview time. I did not expect you. Then Noam Dar shows up and says, actually, Neville, I think that's a great idea. Because I can steal you just like the one thing from Cedric Alexander. The beautiful Alicia Fox.
I swear to you, they just bring Noam Dar out just to do that.
He stressed the Fox just to make Vince go, yeah! Oh, God, yeah! This is the XFL!
Pedro saying
and
in
Gallagher
chat,
comes out and
like
says,
you did.
Just says, but I beat division. I believe that it should be a gentleman, don't you think? Nese comes out, and that's when he gets, oh, look, Tony Nese and his abs are here. And then TJ comes out and says, look, sorry to burst the bubble with all the rest of you guys, but I'm a former champ, so I've sort of got the advantage. Well, you and me, we've got business to settle. But the main reason I came here is to punch out the fucker Tony Nese. Then we get a sort of massive brawl, advert, and Teddy Long, 6-man tag player.
Yeah,
Another 6 months.
indeed. So this match went like 6 minutes, if that, to be honest. A lot going on. They basically just threw everything. It was a flatliner match. Everybody got their stuff in. So at one point, Gallagher hits the red card, and of course we get a double down out of it. Noam Dar tags in because it was funny because Nese was getting ready to make the tag, and Neville and Dar were basically trying to like jockey for position, which tag was about to be made, and he tags in Dar. Neville gets mad. Perkins gets in. He runs wild momentarily, and Neville works him over. Basically, he worked his entire team over because once again he pulled a Sid Vicious and he left. So we end up getting to the finish here, and Nese makes the save. Dar gets tossed out. They hit the detonation kick on Tony Nese. Alexander tags in, hits a springboard clothesline, and the lumbar check, and match over. Not much to this match. I guess we're building this to the match on 205 Live.
Yep.
Which we'll cover on tomorrow's show. Thoughts before we move forward?
The important bit.
Yeah, it was nothing much. Like you said, it was nothing much. It was just so to showcase the five, like the 5 competitors in tomorrow's match on 205 Live. Which it looks like they're setting up Cedric versus Neville. That's what it's looking like right now for Pat. But we'll see tomorrow.
We shall see.
That's what it's looking like now, but we'll see.
So we get Jericho in the back with Kevin Owens. Talking about the Festival of Friendship.
Kevin likes the sound of it. I think everybody likes the sound of it. Mainly because we know Goldberg is going to destroy the shit out of it, probably.
Yeah, most likely.
Yeah.
So then we get Elimination Chamber hype with an interesting note, because obviously such short notice. The Chamber's getting a redesign. I'm guessing that in some way is probably taking into account the fact that they've got joint poles now for turnbuckle posts.
That makes sense.
But they might tweak it here and there. Probably to make it not hurt anybody, because they're that frightened that somebody's going to get fucked up before Mania. You know, Bray Wyatt wins the title, gets injured, and then they actually have to go with Orton versus Cena, and everyone goes, "Oh God!"
Better than what they have for. It's better than what they have for Cena. What they have planned for Cena now, anyway. So.
No.
You rather see now what they what they have planned for Cena now?
Yes.
Yes.
We brought it up on our Wednesday show.
It's your day.
Oh, sorry.
We are. Sorry. I hear that too. I hear that too much on the fucking.
Yes.
I mean, that the whole mixed tag thing is at least something different to Cena versus Orton for the 49,000th time.
True.
That's the main issue. At least Miz and that means Maurice will be back wrestling for the first time in years. I have no problem with that, because she actually wasn't too bad.
No, not at all.
I wouldn't object to seeing her wrestle again. It's a shame it isn't, Renee and Dean, like was clearly originally intended to be. But que sera. Vince has got a giant erection in his pants. I think that's how the lyrics go. At least that's what Vince told me they were. He might have been lying, but So yeah, Roman makes his way out, but Samoa Joe attacks him from behind, beats the shit. Immediately, I'm going, oh God, he's going to fucking do an Okada. God damn it.
I mean, Roman does have his laser tag vest to protect him from harm.
Yeah.
So. Joe beats him down. I believe he hit the ST Joe on the apron at one point. Once again, like I said, I was half paying attention to this. He hits a senton on the outside. Then we go to break. When we come back, the match hasn't officially started yet. And then the bell rings. So heat on Roman for quite a while. And Roman ends up taking advantage of a mistake to send Joe to the outside. He whips him upside down to the barricade. And they get back in the ring. Joe hits the back senton in the back kick. Starts headbutting and chops. Roman no-sells him. Joe's like, no, don't no-sell me. And he back chops him. He hits the power drive elbow. Since we got the Muda Shining Wizard in this show, I think it made sense to do the power drive elbow in this show. And that's exactly what happens. I like that. One thing it gets an ear fall off of that. Joe works the surfboard. They fight out of it, trade punches. And they go back and forth momentarily. Crowd, yay boo, of course. Reigns with a high elbow and a leaping clothesline knocks Joe on the canvas. repeated clotheslines in the corner, and Joe is set up for the Samoan drop, but he counters out of it, Manhattan drop, Yakuza kick, and it's funny because, Ashley, I don't know if you noticed this, or Logan, I don't know if you noticed this or not, when Roman is selling the Yakuza kick, he bumps too early.
No.
Am I the only one that noticed that?
Yeah. It was like, I don't know if it was like, Joe can't kick me high enough.
Maybe.
But he started falling before the kick had even connected.
Pedro has the great line in chat. Vince McMahon
So
loves
improving.
Samoan man. Vince McMahon loves Samoan man.
I noticed that.
That's funny, Pedro. Good job. We're going to have to get you on here before too long. So Joe's got Reigns in the corner. He's beating him down, and he's going for the Otani boot scrapes. And eventually, he ends up getting caught. He finally gets a Samoan drop. Joe goes to the outside before the superhero knuckle sandwich, trademark Grim. And Roman hits the drive-by, Superman, and here comes Ogre. That's right, Braun Strowman is here to the delight of the crowd. He gets on the ring apron. Roman the Superman punch knocks him off. The match is still going on. Joe nails him with the Ghetto Blaster. Nice shout on Seth Rollins there. And then he whips him to the ropes and hits the ST Joe and gets the win. Clean.
Yep.
After the match is over, he just basically leaves because he's not the point of the storyline, sadly. It's to build heat for Fastlane, and Braun ends up hitting Roman with the running power slam through the barricade on the outside, and he beats him with the ring steps. He hits the regular Bulldog power slam in the ring. So he does all this and lays Roman out to the thank you Strowman chants of the crowd.
Yes.
They don't know what they're doing.
Oh, God, no. Okay.
Why the hell are they?
What are they?
They're idiots.
Braun Strowman is going to be turned babyface because of this.
Yeah.
It is clear they don't want Braun Strowman to be the babyface, but people will cheer him because he's taking Roman out. I mean, it would have made perfect sense if they would have just rolled with it and let Roman be a heel, but no. Roman's still the good guy here. Yeah, Finn. That's exactly right, Pedro. Finn did beat Roman on his match on Raw.
Yeah. I mean, yeah, they should have turned. They should have had Roman turn heel after the Rumble, but I mean, when the match with Taker happens at Mania, like they're probably gonna try to have Undertaker be the heel in that match, knowing WWE. But
well, he did kick Brock Lesnar in the nuts, making people think that he was gonna get booed because of it, and that didn't work either. So
yeah, he's the Undertaker. I mean,
I haven't been live for an Undertaker entrance since SummerSlam '95, when they weren't as awe-inspiring, but it's still cool to see. And then I went to a Raw, and I was able to see him, and that was awesome. But at the Citrus Bowl, the Camping World Stadium, whatever you want to call it, my first WrestleMania, hopefully not my last, I get to see The Undertaker's actual entrance in person, and I'm very excited about it because it's something I've never really got a chance to see in full before. Just like with Balor's full entrance and Nakamura's full entrance and what they're going to do with Bobby Roode.
Yeah. And
we know what they'll do with Bobby Roode.
Yeah. And it's like you would think too, Roman wearing that vest too, it's like you would think any damage you deliver to Roman will be non-effective because he's wearing the vest.
Well, he's also Samoan.
Yeah.
And in wrestling,
Mojo!
Yeah, exactly. In wrestling vernacular throughout time, if you have anybody with an island gimmick, whether it's a work or a shoot, if you hit them in the head, it's not going to do anything.
The head won't
So yeah, I mean that was the show tonight.
Uh,
I mean, there's some decent stuff on the show. The build to Fastlane has begun. They've got 4 weeks to build the Fastlane, so I mean they got a little bit of time. Everything Joe did tonight was done well. I like not really using the general managers tonight, except for the opening segment. You're building Nia Jax. Don't necessarily know why, given the fact that I don't think they're going to do heel versus heel at Fastlane, but they could. I do think it's still a possibility they'll do the tag match.
Yeah.
So you don't have to have a singles match between two heels. Braun Strowman and Roman Reigns, we knew it was going to happen anyway. He's got to build to it. Tozawa debuts, which means he's going to be on Raw now at least every once in a while. That's a good thing.
Yes.
A decent tag title match with the Good Brothers and Sheamus and Cesaro. We find out Rollins most likely is going to be Alpha Mania. We'll see what happens. New Day and the Shining Stars had a throwaway tag match that was marred by ice cream. The Rock and Roll Express are going into the Hall of Fame. Jericho and Sami Zayn got 10 minutes.
Yeah.
And they did good with what they had. Everybody in the Cruiserweight division wants to take out Neville, but they want to take other people out together. And they lead to a tag match that goes less than 6 minutes. Vegas next week. Brock obviously is not on the show because of the USADA deal, so Goldberg will be on the show.
Oh, boy.
And that's also going to be Bayley versus Charlotte and the Festival of Friendship. 205 Live this week. The 5-way elimination match with Jack Gallagher, Tony Nese, TJ Perkins, Cedric Alexander, and Noam Dar. And then Roman and Joe is basically done just to hype up their eventual match that they actually give them. For what they did with this match, Ashley, they gave us a little bit to whet our appetite to see if we really want this match. It's going to be hard hitting when it actually happens.
Yeah.
When they actually give it time. But this wasn't a bad match, really. They had decent chemistry in the ring.
Yeah, to some extent.
I didn't think Roman was going to eat the Muscle Buster. Here's a question, Ashley. Do you think it's a possibility Joe was not going to use the Muscle Buster on the main roster?
I think because of TJ.
Because of TJ. Yeah, that's what I was thinking that, but I didn't necessarily want to say it.
Perhaps for smaller guys, yeah, but for somebody the size of Roman, and especially because they don't want it the move to go wrong and Roman to get injured, at least until if he's facing important people, scheme of things.
Do you like the irony of the fact
Joe
that
ain't going to be doing it?
Somebody with Anaway blood lost to a rock bottom?
Well, a variant of the rock bottom.
Yeah.
Remember, it's an Uranagi.
It's an Hideo Itachi, but that's another story for another time. Obviously, I'm way too advanced for my own good.
Kinshasa!
So yeah, that's gonna be our show. So once again, thank you, Pedro and Jeremy in chat tonight. Thank you to Tyler Powell, Ginger Boy Wonder, and I think Pinhead Larry was in here tonight too. So yeah, shout out to all of you for joining us. Acer, I know you're not mentioned in chat right now, but you're probably getting ready to show up at the very end, like you always do. So tomorrow, 9 p.m., the Wednesday Wrestling Popcast, we're going to be talking NXT, we're talking SmackDown, 205 Live, Ring of Honor, a lot of Ring of Honor stuff to talk about, a lot of New Japan Pro Wrestling stuff to talk about too. That's going to be discussed. There's more indie stuff coming, more WrestleMania stuff, more WrestleMania week stuff is coming soon. I'll get a lot of more news coming up, and we'll discuss that all tomorrow at 9 p.m. on the Wednesday Wrestling Podcast. So, Logan, I want to thank you for joining us tonight. What did you think of your first time on the podcast?
No, thank you. I was I was a little nervous, but I enjoyed it. I hope you guys could have me back again,
Right.
and it was fun. I mean, it was.
Well, I'm glad you got a chance to be a part of it. And once again, we've always thrown out the invite that when it comes to horror nights, it's a little bit harder because obviously those are pretty packed because
Yes.
we have 10 members of the elite, so it's kind of hard to do anything with special guests, but we can work that out if need be. But with wrestling shows, it's a little bit different, and we could potentially bring in some more special guests. I hope Pedro ends up joining us at some point. Maybe Jeremy Mills. Eventually, maybe Acer may join, even though he's said numerous times that he doesn't want to be on the show. He just wants to listen to the show. I totally get that. But yeah, we have a lot of really cool people listen to our show. And for those of you that don't comment in chat or leave comments on the videos, let me know that you're listening or watching us, so we would know to put you over as well, just like we're going to. Links in the description bar to everyone's Twitter accounts and YouTube channels for people that have been on this network. Obviously, Mr. Entertainment was not on the show tonight. Hopefully he returns next week. Scott's busy with the move. So yeah, we're working on, and I will be joining him in about 4 weeks. Yeah, my final day at my shoot job is next week. So yeah, it's been a long road, and it's finally going to lead down south where it's always supposed to have led. Yeah, get a hold of me, Pedro. We can also talk horror nights too if we can work something out. I don't know exactly how that's going to work, but we'll see what we can do. Logan, where can we find you on social media?
You can find me on Twitter at Logan Button 10, and that's basically all I use, basically. Okay. So yeah.
Fair point. Ashley, where can we find you on social media?
You can find me on Twitter at Ash is my name UK. Hopefully something interesting happens in gaming. I can actually talk about something rather than a hodgepodge of news and everything. Higgledy-piggledy news or whatever the shit I called it.
Yes, you did. And it doesn't have a description, so it's basically up there without a description, so that's interesting too.
Yeah. It's a mystery.
Pretty much. So like I said, tomorrow is going to be the Wednesday Wrestling Popcast. Thursday, Sip and Snack returns. Friday, AJ's movie reviews is the Lego Batman movie, John Wick 2, and 50 Shades Darker. Saturday, you're just going to have to wait and see because I'll shoot with you. I don't even know what's going on Saturday yet. Sunday is going to be Versus. I got some good stuff coming in Versus in the next several weeks that you're definitely going to enjoy. So if you like the Versus, you're going to love it. Once again, I called that right. The Samoan submission specialist, Samoa Joe, was the special attraction on Raw this week. He's officially a Raw superstar. Joe decimating Roman. Braun Strowman is a roaring monster indeed. Bam. Thank you, Acer, for your dynamite drop in at the very end. You're very much welcome to provide your commentary, even at the 11th hour. It's always appreciated here on the network. Very soon we have more awards coverage. We're going to be doing our Spirit Awards video coming up soon. And yes, finally, AJ, Ashley, and myself talking Academy Awards one last time. And we will find out in a couple of weeks who won the competition. And then I will get up the next morning and I will get in a truck and I will move to Orlando. So yes, life is good. Acer says Patriots won the Super Bowl. Brady made the list. Patriots had a big comeback in history. Very surreal. I would know. I was really bored Sunday. There was nothing for me to do.
That was ridiculous. I like the fact on the Observer they basically compared it to Suzuki and Okada because it's like, how can this happen?
Right.
How are they not going to win? Oh wait, it's the upset that we all should have seen coming, or whatever.
Well, Acer, I do want to thank you again for the plug on Twitter, and I'll plug you as well. Acer 5000 on YouTube for Acer's channel. Also, you can check him out at Acer1337. Yes, in a row for all the podcasts you should be listening to, wrestling and or otherwise. If you are just joining us here, we are taking it home right now on the Monday Night Raw Popcast. But number one, we'll be back at 9 p.m. tomorrow night for the Wednesday Wrestling Podcast. And tomorrow night, obviously, this is for the archive listeners, Wednesday night at 9 p.m. And, of course, the archive should be up in a little bit for this show. So if you're listening live right now, we're going to be ending soon, like I said, and then we're going to be bringing it in the archive in a little bit. My apologies as well for going away a bit tonight, more than I normally do. I'm not sick as a dog, but I feel like crap right now. So I wanted to make sure that we still had a great show, and I still think that we did deliver tonight, even though I've been sick and I was off on mute pretty much the whole time. But I think, provided enough. So, yes, Lady Gaga stole a halftime show. Like I said, she looked like a mixture of Dana Brooke and Baszler, talking about football. Yay. Sports. So I think that's the show. Once again, I want to thank everyone for listening tonight. Thank you, Pedro. I hope I get better too, because I got to do this all again Wednesday night. So yeah, and then I got to do it again on Sunday night because Sunday night is the Elimination Chamber. So we'll be doing that podcast on Sunday night. So
Elimination Chamber.
which of course is the same night as the BAFTAs, and it's going to be the same thing I did for the Rumble. I'm going to be half paying attention to the show and half paying attention to the award show. So yeah, that's going to be a fun night. So that being said,
I'm triply fucked because obviously there's What Culture, pretty much followed by the BAFTAs, the Chamber.
There you go.
And then possibly 24 hours later, the special early Valentine. I could see 50 Shades. I could see the 30th anniversary of Dirty Dancing.
Ooh.
But fuck is on. Fuck everything.
So yeah, that's coming up soon. And a lot of great content. Horror Nights has been really, really vocal lately on Twitter. So something tells me something's coming very soon. And it doesn't take a rocket scientist to realize that we're about to get something very soon. Mardi Gras has already started, so obviously we should be doing some stuff from there next month. I'll be doing some Mardi Gras coverage, doing some stuff from Flower Garden. Obviously, when Food and Wine hits, I'll be covering that. So yeah, there'll be a lot of Orlando-centric stuff coming in the network as of March. So that being said, I want to thank you guys and girls out there for watching. And as always, in a world where there are a billion wrestling podcasts, we're very pleased that once more tonight you have chosen a podcast. I want to thank everyone for watching. Thanks everyone for listening. As always, go watch La La Land. And until tomorrow, boys and girls, that's all we got to say about that.
Hey, Owen, what connects Stranger Things with James Ellsworth?
What's that?
11!
Halloween Horror Nights? Maybe.